nodrošināt te. Un neaizmirst noņemt karodziņus Ukrainas un UK. Vai man palūgt kādam no savām meitenēm? Evija? Vai ilgi viņi iet? Es neskatījos. Jā, protams. Tikai es. Dear media representatives, welcome to the Drone Summit 2026 press briefing. We will start with the official statements, followed by questions and answers session. And as first, I welcome Prime Minister, Acting Minister of Defense of Republic of Latvia, Evika Silina. Please.
Labdien! Visus man tiešām liels prieks sveikt dronu samitā. Es novēlu visiem produktīvu dienu. Šeit ir iespēja veidot kontaktus, satikt sen neredzētus kolēģus, bieži redzētus kolēģus. Un es tiešām novēlu, lai šodien arī demonstrētās jaunās ieceres un idejas arī tātad jau pēc tam realizētos praktiskos risinājumos mūsu dronu tehnoloģiju attīstībai un mūsu aizsardzības spēju stiprināšanai gan Eiropā, gan arī ārpus Eiropas robežām. Un ņemot vērā, ka šodien darba valoda ir angļu, es turpināšu angļu valodā. Dear ministers, dear colleagues, welcome to Drone Summit, platform of drone innovation and industrial development. I'm really happy to see all my colleagues here as well as defense ministers in my new role for a while. We all could agree that drone technologies have fundamentally transformed warfare strategy and tactics, and Ukraine, more than anyone else, demonstrates to all of us that robotics, drones, AI are a decisive element of success against Russia's military. Latvia has made a major leap forward in innovation and production of drones, and today you can see how big our drone summit has become. Those who have been here before, you know that it has grown more and more, and I'm really grateful for everyone who uses this opportunity to come here to show their abilities. I believe that it really strengthens our national defense and provides unique opportunities for local industry. Today, we will sign the letter of intent with the Kingdom of Netherlands because it demonstrates the strong political will of both countries to deepen our cooperation in the field of defense. Our agreement will provide that the Netherlands Armed Forces will use Silina military training area for drone and counter-drone exercises, training and testing. But it also means that an increased Allied military presence will be here in Latvia. Using this opportunity, I would like to thank our British allies for their steadfast support of the drone coalition and contribution to security around Baltic Sea. I as well want to really thank our Ukrainian guests for their superb leadership as well as willingness to share experience from the battlefield, which we really all value here in Latvia very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, please, Minister of Defense of the Netherlands, Dylan Jesselgaus-Sigerius.
Thank you so much, and good morning. Thank you all for being here. I would like to thank the Ministry of Defense of Latvia and, of course, the Riga Tech University for organizing this summit for the second time. It's very impressive to be here. I heard so many good things about it, but to see it with my own eyes, it's very good to see this and to experience this. And I know that we find each other right now in very difficult times. We see the tension rising in the eastern NATO flank, and we see the Russian aggression continuing. And I know that here in the Baltic states, you feel this threat on a daily basis. And we see that Russia is just leveling up, accelerating its own defense production. So it means that we have to be smarter, faster, more flexible, so that we can make sure that our continent stays safe and that we make sure that we keep supporting our Ukrainian friends. And I was just talking, of course, to David, and I said, it's so impressive to see you are in the 4th year of a brute war. And while you are defending yourselves, you are defending Ukraine, you are also innovating. And you are making sure that you are a leading country, leading army when it comes to innovation, when it comes to drone technology. And it's just an honor to be here with so many Dutch companies to see how we can work together to make sure that together we are amping up our defense industry, making sure that our innovations are ahead of those who are against us, and that we keep working together. And I'm very much looking forward to the letter of intent, and Prime Minister Silina already mentioned it, and the ways we can practice here together, which will allow the Dutch Army also to learn from our friends. So again, thank you for your hospitality, and thank you for having us.
Thank you. And now, Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State, Minister for the Armed Forces of the United Kingdom, Alistair Cairns.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank our Latvian hosts for hosting what is a second fantastic drone conference. Then I'd like to thank our GEF partners for standing together, and then, of course, our NATO allies. But importantly, above all else, I'd like to thank the Ukrainians, who are at the very forefront of European security and holding the line against a barbaric, illegal invasion of their country. So why are we here? Well, we're to talk through the collaboration on drones and uncrewed systems, Why? Because drones and uncrewed systems are changing the very way in which we will collectively defend and fight future conflicts. They're changing the tactics, the operational structures, and we'll have to change our whole strategy. They will change the close battle, they will change the deep fight, and they will change how we protect the rear. And so I'm really delighted to be here with our Latvian allies to work through how we're collaboratively going to do that to protect the Eastern European family. We must move, and as we move forward, we must continue to innovate, we must remain flexible, and importantly all, we must remain resolute in our defence of our freedoms and everything that we hold dear. Because I'm a firm believer that if you want peace, and you want peace to hold, you must, unfortunately, prepare for war. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, please, Deputy Secretary, National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, David Daloyan.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I would like to say the words of gratitude for all the support that we have received since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. Specifically, a very big thank you to Latvia as a country who have supported us even before the 24th of February have started. So, I'm very honored and I'm happy to see that each and every occasion here in Riga are becoming more and more towards asynchronized solutions, asymmetric solutions, the solutions that help us to resist this unprovoked war of aggression of Russia. And I'm very happy and proud that Ukraine is already transformed from the supplier of the support, of the defense support, to contributor. We have the experience and we have the knowledge and we have the solutions. The solutions that we are not only ready to share, but we already are sharing with our partners. And we are currently working with our not even partners, but even friends. And specifically with Latvia, Netherlands, and with United Kingdom, we already have some successful results. And right now we're going to deepen them under the framework of drone deal cooperation. And all of those efforts will be aimed towards providing this experience, valuable experience that we have gained at a very high cost. However, we are fully understand what is to be in the war, and we will do everything what we can in order to help our partners and our friends to become more stronger and to make their defense way more higher till the level that we currently have in Ukraine. Thank you.
Thank you. And now you have a chance to ask questions to our ministers. Please. Yes, yes, there is a microphone. No, just a second.
Thank you. Good morning, Rudy Rutenberg for Defense News. Just a question, because as part of the NATO capability targets, there's a counter-UAS element. And I'm wondering whether you feel that you've made progress and where you stand in progress towards meeting those capability targets already that were set in The Hague in last year, and whether they are enough in view of the evolving threat. Sorry, do you need me to repeat the question?
Yeah, please repeat.
Sorry. NATO, as part of the capability targets set in The Hague last year, included counter-UAS. I was wondering how much progress you've made towards meeting those counter-UAS capability targets, and whether you think that in view of the evolved threat environment, those targets are still sufficient. Are they still enough? Thank you.
So I think it's a good question, but Latvia is spending 5% of our GDP for our defense capabilities, and that's true that those NATO capabilities, which has been set up for quite a long time ago, we need to restructure. That's my opinion. And yes, definitely there are things that we need still to accomplish, and Latvia is doing as much as we can, and we are going forward. But because we are here today for Drone Coalition, we all understand that new technologies are quite a spectacular thing, what we need all to incorporate in our NATO capabilities as well. That's why we all are here today, looking for a new way how as quick as possible we can go with those targets. So maybe my colleagues can add to that, but that's how I see it. And there will be a mix of what we already has defined as our main targets, but the new ones has already arose. And for example, as a country living near Russia and Belarus, we are actually unique. We have border from both of those countries. We really can see we don't have any time for just making plans. We need to have those interceptors for drones, capabilities, how we can shoot down those drones, because they're disturbing our normal life.
I totally agree with the Prime Minister. While we have our targets, we have to move ahead a little bit more faster because also the urgency that added up 3 months ago with the war in the Middle East. And it's very important for us, I think, as the coalition sitting here, that we will not focus, we will not lose our focus on Ukraine and helping Ukraine, which will also, we see also at the same time that there's also help needed in the Middle East, for example, and we don't know where we will be in the upcoming 3 months. So for us, from the Netherlands, it's very important to have a big part in the drone coalition, to make sure that we deliver, but also that we deliver on a bilateral level, that we have our co-production with Ukraine, where we are making sure that there are hundreds and thousands of new drones coming. And I think it's very important, and that's why I'm so proud to see also so many Dutch companies, and I know from different countries, that they keep innovating and making sure that they can produce even faster and faster, because that is needed. Cheaper and faster, I think, are the key elements for the new innovation coming up. So answering your question, the targets are very important, but I think that the reality around us makes us, urges us to move faster.
I think drones are difficult to work out where they've come from. They're difficult to track, and they're difficult to work out who has sent them. So they're a perfect tool of hybrid warfare. We've seen drone incursions all over the eastern flank. From my perspective, we've got to work much harder to defeat what is a really complex weapon system, from drones to high-end ballistic missiles, and providing the right balance is exceptionally difficult. We've seen that in Iran, we've seen that in the Middle East, we've seen it in Ukraine for the last 4 years. In Ukraine, just the other day, there were 1,500 drones and missiles hit Kyiv. Just think about that, 1,500. How do you get the optimum weapon mix to target hypersonic missiles and slow and low drones and make it affordable? That's what we've got to do, and we've got to move faster.
So yeah, the speed is of essential, and this is exactly one of the lessons that we have learned during the war. So, and those asymmetric solutions that we have developed jointly with our partners and that have supported us and helped to achieve this level of the technology and also the capacity production levels of our country, this will be contributed also to our partners with those means that will be very helpful in order to countering those threats that enemy currently sending to Ukraine and all of the future, hope not, but all of the potential future threats that can appear in Europe.
Good morning, Nikita Andreevs, Latvia's Radio. So the question is, we all know that Latvia has a lot of innovation in its defense industry, have a lot of product solutions. But the question is, how do we scale up the production part of it so we actually have it, and how we deliver it to the national armed forces? So the question is, how do we scale up production, and is 5% of GDP actually enough for any serious development in the future? Thank you.
So no one has cancelled NATO capabilities request, and our armed forces now in a middle of still they need those I would say hard tanks, technologies. It's not technologies, it's military equipment. They still need those as well, but we have provided 10 million for innovation and new technologies, and then there are more finances allowed for allocated for new technologies and automated systems. I would agree with the minister from Netherlands saying that the one who will be able to speed up and provide a better price will succeed. Because our companies today as well have to understand that not just good technology will be the one we will be buying, but as well the price and the speed and the amount will matter. So in that sense, sure, Ukraine has their experiences. That's why we have agreements with Ukraine. We can co-product together. But sure, we are not in a war zone. And our companies are looking for opportunities where they can provide technologies for different countries. As we mentioned, we have Jeff. We are protecting our sea. There are a lot of issues going on in the Baltic Sea, in Arctic. So we have to co-work together. I think the main issue now in Europe as well, the main discussions are how we can work together as well as European countries, not competing so much with each other and isolating each other, but working together for reaching better results. That's the issue. Sure, because Latvia alone, one Latvian company, will not be able to compete. It will be very rare. It will be very rare. It's not impossible, but to be honest, we have to co-work. That's why we are signing agreements. That's why we need to work together. We need to find a way how we can use those experiences Ukraine has. And defense ministers in Europe as well need to agree. And probably next NATO summits, they need to agree what are those priorities where we work together. So that's very important because before NATO was structured as well a lot providing military equipment from US, but we are able to do ourselves. That's why we are here, right?
Thank you. Last question.
Yes, thank you. Krish Kaits from Latvian Public Television. My question is for the Minister of the Netherlands. Reuters yesterday reported that the German-Dutch Corps could be assigned to support the defense of Latvia and Estonia under new NATO plans. So firstly, can you confirm this? And secondly, what would it mean in practical terms for Baltic security? Thank you.
I didn't get the last question.
What would it mean for... what would it mean for Baltic security in practical terms?
You asked me if I could confirm that message. Right now, I cannot say anything about it. It is very important that we keep working together, as you know, that we are also doing with our German neighbors, and that we have ways of protecting our continent, and that we take up a responsible role also for the Netherlands. But that's all I can say for that question for now. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now I please welcome Ukraine and UK representatives to proceed to the main hall and get ready for the opening panel. Meanwhile, please, ministers of Latvia and Netherlands, please stay for the official signing of letter of intent between the Minister of Defense of the Kingdom of the Netherlands and Minister of Defense of the Republic of Latvia on cooperation in the field of drone and counter-drone testing. Please. See this. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. The family photo maybe with the
Family?
Family?
Yeah.
Sisters?
With the official handshake. Thank you, and with this we conclude our press briefing. Thank you so much for your interest, and I welcome everyone to proceed to the main hall for the opening of the conference.